That is wide. And Gauff into a second semi-final here in Dubai. That was a very, very solid performance from the third seed. She came into...
So I'm just sitting here completely speechless right now. And honestly, I don't even know how to start processing what just happened on that court, because what we witnessed today has absolutely obliterated every prediction, every game plan analysis, and every storyline we constructed heading into this showdown. Everyone needs to grab a seat. Silence those notifications and hear me out, because I'm staring at these official match statistics from the Coco Gauff versus Eala quarterfinal, and my mind is fighting to comprehend the sheer level of tennis brutality that just unfolded before our eyes.
For the third seed, she came into a cauldron of an atmosphere here with the crowd behind Eala, but she kept them quiet, winning the first 10 games. Yes, there was a little wobble as Eala attempted to come back.
The last 48 hours were all about this being an epic war of attrition from the baseline. Everyone was saying Eala had the perfect tactical blueprint to neutralize Gauff. We crunched every number, studied every pattern, and buckled up for what should have been the tournament's defining battle. And then Gauff stepped through that tunnel, stared down tennis's hottest emerging talent, and proceeded to absolutely annihilate her without mercy. Listen to me right now. Whatever clips you caught on your timeline don't tell the real story, because I'm about to expose exactly how an American champion just served up the most brutal lesson in modern tennis history. Before we dissect this complete statistical demolition, I need to address both incredibly devoted fan bases who made this quarterfinal the most hyped match of the entire event. Let me speak to Team Gauff, and let me speak to Eala's supporters. Gauff faithful, today is your moment to celebrate without reservation. You've been backing your Grand Slam winner through every critique about her serving mechanics, every question about her forehand consistency, and every suggestion she was somehow beatable. Today, she didn't just answer those critics, she obliterated them completely. She demonstrated exactly why she represents the apex of this tennis generation, and for Eala's army, I completely understand this devastation. I know you're staring at that 6-6-2 scoreline in total shock. You invested everything supporting this remarkable emerging player, and watching her get completely overwhelmed like this cuts incredibly deep. But understand, this isn't Eala's career-ending moment. This becomes the most crucial, though painful, education she'll receive as a professional. She just discovered what elite-level tennis actually demands, and learned what happens when your strongest tactical approach collides with a once-in-a-generation athletic specimen. Now let's completely demolish any misconceptions about today's events by examining the ruthless mathematical reality of this encounter. We need to start with Eala's statistical breakdown, because we spent all week celebrating her exceptional court intelligence and her skill at winning without relying on easy points. Well, today that precise strategy got completely torn apart in the most savage manner imaginable. Check out Eala's first serve numbers. She managed a solid 61% first serve percentage into the service box. Throughout her previous rounds, simply getting the rally started was sufficient to begin those grinding exchanges where she excels. But examine her first serve winning percentage today, 32%. Really absorb that devastating figure, 32% success rate on first serves. That represents complete statistical carnage. Nearly 70% of the time Eala successfully landed her primary weapon, she still lost the point. How does such destruction even occur? It happens because Gauff analyzed that serve, recognized it contained zero threat potential, and attacked it like a weak practice feed. Gauff was positioning herself so aggressively inside the baseline on returns, she was practically suffocating Eala before the service motion even finished. Eala recorded 0 aces throughout this entire match, meaning she possessed absolutely no method to force Gauff backward. Gauff was anticipating the ball toss, taking enormous aggressive swings, and completely commandeering each point from the opening shot. When your first serve is getting systematically destroyed by a Grand Slam champion, all that pressure transfers to your second serve, and that pressure becomes absolutely crushing. Last round, we watched Eala post an incredible 74% second serve win rate. Today, against Gauff's terrifying speed and court coverage, that figure crashed to 40%. Eala was petrified to attempt her second serve. She understood that floating it slightly too high meant Gauff would blast a winner past her. The baseline control Eala depended on completely disappeared, because Gauff simply refused allowing any rhythm establishment. Eala remained constantly defensive, constantly scrambling, constantly striking balls while sprinting. She managed only 19 return points for the complete match. She couldn't create sustained offensive pressure and got completely overpowered by the pure physical dominance of the American across the net. But here's the most insane, terrifying aspect of this statistical analysis and exactly why the entire WTA should be deeply worried. We must discuss Gauff's performance because she delivered this masterpiece while still battling her own service struggles. Gauff demolished this quarterfinal 6-0, 6-2 completely overwhelming one of tennis's most dangerous rising players and accomplished this while hitting 8 double faults. 8 double faults across a match lasting only 14 total games. Eala hit just 1. Gauff was still hemorrhaging free points. Her first serve percentage reached only 55%, meaning she missed nearly half her initial attempts. Against any normal opponent under normal circumstances, surrendering 8 free points while struggling with serve placement drags you into a messy 3-set marathon. But Gauff operates beyond normal parameters. She represents a completely different athletic category. How do you double fault 8 times yet still deliver a 6-stuffin', 6-2 destruction? You accomplish it by becoming an absolute assassin on every point that actually stays in play. When Gauff managed landing her first serve, she captured 74% of those points. When forced into second serves, she won 64% of those exchanges. She completely masked her mechanical inconsistencies by ensuring whenever the ball remained in play, she controlled every baseline exchange. She was striking with such incredible weight, moving with such explosive athleticism, that Eala became completely frozen. Gauff captured 55 total points compared to Eala's 33. That's a massive plus 22-point differential showing complete dominance. Gauff hit 1 ace, proving she wasn't depending on service bombs. She won this match by fundamentally outplaying, overpowering, and outclassing Eala from the backcourt. For absolute proof of how thoroughly Gauff shattered Eala's confidence today, examine the momentum statistics buried in this datasheet. Look at maximum consecutive games won. This statistic literally made me freeze. Gauff unleashed a rampage capturing 10 straight games. Picture the psychological devastation Eala experienced during that sequence. You enter center court for your career's biggest moment. The atmosphere is electric. Expectations are massive, and you proceed losing the opening set 6-0. You sit courtside trying to reset, telling yourself it's a fresh start, and immediately fall behind 4-0 in set 2. 10 consecutive games lost. That transcends losing a tennis match. That's being placed in complete psychological submission. For nearly 60 minutes, Eala stood there desperately attempting every tactical option, glancing toward her coach with visible distress, and finding zero solutions to the puzzle Gauff presented. Gauff was completely untouchable. Eala's maximum consecutive games won totaled 2, meaning she only managed stringing together 2 service holds at match end when Gauff had mentally moved on and was simply waiting for handshakes. We must also examine Gauff's absolute killer instinct on crucial points. Tennis gets decided in tight margins during pressure moments when crowds hold their breath. Gauff created 9 breakpoint opportunities against Eala's serve and converted 6 of them. A 66% breakpoint conversion rate defines a true competitor. When Gauff spotted weakness in Eala's game, she exploited it mercilessly. Due to her double fault issues, Gauff gave Eala 2 break opportunities and Eala converted only 1. Even when handed openings, Eala couldn't capitalize because Gauff's defensive range was so intimidating. Gauff won 12 total games to Eala's 2. She captured 26 return points to Eala's 19. She won 29 service points to Eala's 14. Across every measurable category, in every tennis fundamental, Gauff was completely superior. This match proves and should demonstrate to every analyst, coach, and player professionally that Gauff operates in a different competitive reality. She just showed she doesn't require her absolute best tennis to completely dismantle a highly regarded, incredibly smart rising star. She can struggle with her toss, hit 8 double faults, serve at 55%, and still deliver a 6-2, 6-2 beatdown. That's a frightening reality for remaining opponents. It means defeating Gauff requires more than waiting for her mistakes. You must step on court and hit clean winners past tennis's fastest player consistently for 2 straight hours. Eala attempted playing her typical grinding, tactical style, and Gauff essentially dismissed it. Gauff's raw power and athletic intimidation completely overwhelmed Eala's tennis intelligence. For Eala, this becomes a very difficult, quiet journey home. She must study this statistical breakdown. She should frame that 32% first serve win rate and use it as pure motivation. Today taught her that reaching Grand Slam champion status, consistently competing against elite WTA monsters, requires desperately developing a weapon that generates free points. She cannot rely on outgrinding players like Gauff, because athletes like Gauff never tire and don't get intimidated by extended rallies. Eala needs an ace. She needs a heavy, unreturnable first serve because stepping on court against elite competition again with 0 aces and 32% first serve success guarantees identical results. I want to hear exactly what you're thinking right now. The comment section needs to absolutely ignite, Gauff supporters. How incredibly satisfying is watching her completely destroy the hype and silence every doubter with a 10-game winning streak. Can she carry this momentum straight to the championship? Or do those 8 double faults still concern you heading into semifinals? Eala Army, be completely honest with me. Does this 6-0, 6-2 reality check discourage you? Or do you see this as necessary development for a young talent with an incredibly promising future? What's the absolute first priority Eala needs addressing when returning to practice? Drop your completely honest reactions below. Smash that like button to boost this detailed analysis through the algorithm. Subscribe so you catch my next breakdown, hit those notifications, and I'll catch you in the next video.